The familiar tones of the opener for the Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast. Hey there, thanks for joining us today. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Curt, and there's a little something for you and a little something for me today when it comes to national days. You want to know why?
Yes.
Today is National Guitar Day.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I do now.
I should have had you get your guitar out. Darn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have no guitars on display, but there are plenty to be had. Yes.
So
Okay,
many
so that's
guitars.
awesome. I love that.
And it's also National Make a Friend Day.
And that's the one that you love.
That's the one I love. Go out and make a friend. But it's not that easy. That's the thing. When's the last time you made a new friend?
Probably from hanging out with you and your friends. So within the last couple of years, but yeah, but prior to that, it takes a while. You don't make so many friends when you're a little bit older.
That's what they were saying. So a poll found that last fall, around 39% of Americans hadn't made a new friend in over a year. And the advice, then it went, some gal said on Reddit, like, how do I make a friend as an adult? And it was like overwhelming the same thing. Like, don't expect to just make a friend by seeing him one time. Like, find something that you love to do. Show up, like keep showing up at whatever that is. If you love to play pickleball, keep showing up at the same court. Start to, get familiar with the people there. And then you're going to have to make some effort. Ask them out outside of what you're already doing. And that's how a friendship sparks.
Yeah.
But it requires some effort.
You might have to try a few times too, because it may not work out the first or second time.
Right.
You never know.
That's true.
How about the show today? We got a lot to get through here today, so let's hit it. Now, inflation is coming for your thoughts. I don't know what that means, Jen, but I'm interested to find out about it.
Okay.
Fallouts from the Super Bowl, or should we say after the Super Bowl, the things that happened in Philadelphia.
Yep. The pink sticky notes I woke up to this morning.
Right.
I'm going to share a little story with you about that.
And this is kind of an informative thing. Your pet's microchip may not be working right now. You might have to look into it and put a little effort into it. Just make sure your pet's microchip is working.
Yep, a few other things. Jelly Roll has some advice on if you're struggling to exercise, which actually is great advice coming. I mean, you're like, Jelly Roll's giving advice on exercising? Yeah, he is, and it's awesome.
I mean, I think if you told me, 10 years ago, you'll be taking advice from somebody named Jelly Roll on anything, I'd be like, that doesn't sound... the most random thing you've memorized, that was our Curt and Jen podcast question of the day from yesterday. And of course, you showed up. We'll have all this for you. And finally, how your Valentine's Day gift could backfire on you. All that stuff is coming up. Woohoo!
All right.
I want to hear about the sticky notes.
So I woke up this morning, I wake up at I got to sleep in a little bit because I don't have to drive to your house right now.
So what time did you wake up today?
I'm
4?
up north with Pat. I woke up at 3:45.
Okay.
And when you wake up, you're a little groggy, and I go out, I try to shut the door and be really quiet, and I see a sticky note. It's dark, but I see a sticky note on the faucet, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so sweet. Pat wrote me a sweet little good morning note. So I turn on the light, and I can barely read it. It says, it is not a love note. It is, see note about water on your, what I thought was counter, but it says on your computer. See note about water on your computer. And then I go into the bathroom because I'm like, okay, I'll figure out what's going on with the water, but first I need to pee. So I go into the bathroom, and where the toilet paper roll goes, there's a sticky note on the toilet paper roll that says, see note about water on your computer. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I go to my computer. This is my worst nightmare for being in a motorhome. Ran out of water. Turned pump off at bathroom switch. You can turn it on to try and get some water. Just turn it off when you're done. Hoses were frozen.
Oh, wow.
I used too much water yesterday, and I took too long of a shower, and Pat always assures me, we won't run out of water, babe. We won't run out of water. And I'm like, okay, we won't run out of water. I'm going to take a little bit extra long shower.
You should stop trying to challenge that. Like, oh, okay, I'll try taking a longer shower. I'll run out of water. Wow. Let me ask for, but it was number 1 and not number 2. So you were okay as far as that went, right? This morning?
But I didn't even flush the toilet though, because I'm scared. I'm scared, Curt.
I guess that's part of RV life, isn't it? Okay. Well, the pipes are the hoses going to warm up enough to use the water later today?
I hope so. And I will tell you that something cracked because he didn't turn off the water. He was, he works 24-hour shifts, and he forgot to look at how cold it was going to be. So I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, something cracked. So water can't flow into the motorhome as it should be flowing. He has to fill
Right.
the tank.
I
So
hope that's
many
not a
things.
super expensive fix.
We can move on. I was just so excited that I thought that wrote me a love note, and it was not. It was bad.
Well, it was left for you with love.
Yes, it was. That's true. Thank you.
All right. You found this too, as if we need to hear about the, well, I mean, when your team wins a big event, a big sports event, the town tends to go crazy afterwards, the city. And this is always frustrating because I don't know why there's a need to be destructive.
I'm so
But,
mad about this. Like, I cannot even believe that this is what happens.
right. Well, it's just the first part of the story that Philadelphia went crazy on Sunday night. Fans, after the Super Bowl win, toppled streetlights, broke windows, set fires, harassed cops, shot off fireworks, fought each other. And it says, typical Philly behavior.
So, was this in Philadelphia or was this in New Orleans or was it both?
I'm
No?
gonna, you know what? You popped this in here. I didn't see. I'm gonna say it was.
I'm betting it's probably both. It was, the destruction that they were doing was, I mean, it's gonna be thousands upon thousands of dollars they were taking down street lights.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were burning up Kermit the Frog because Patrick Holmes apparently sounds like Kermit. Like, that's just mean. Like, it's mean spirited, and it really, really makes me mad. Like, it's inexcusable.
Are you more concerned about the violence or that they burned Kermit?
Both. I just think all of it's rude because that's mean spirited. You don't burn Kermit.
That's also kind of violent. You're right. Okay, enough about that. There were other things that happened. Eaglebacks quarterback Jalen Hurts did indeed say, "Yep, I'm going to Disney World," and went to Disney World. There was an apology that Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City quarterback, he tweeted an apology. "I appreciate all the love and support from the Chiefs Kingdom. I let y'all down today. I'll always continue to work and try and learn to be better. We will be back." Now, here's what I don't understand. Only one team, well, two teams get to go to the Super Bowl out of all the teams, and only one team wins. And I know that's the goal every single year, but, am I going to say it's okay that they didn't win? A lot of other teams didn't win either.
Right. Well, and you know what? There was all these reports about how many people didn't care about the Super Bowl. Like, people don't care about the Super Bowl. They don't care about the teams that are playing. And yet, we broke records when it came to viewership.
Almost 126 million people
watched the Super Bowl compared to last year, which set a record at 123.7 million viewers.
Streams for Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us jumped 430% in the hours right after his Super Bowl performance. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what's supposed to happen.
That's why he did it without getting too much US dollars to do it, because I don't think they get paid much to do that.
And sometimes I think they do it for free, and they're counting on the publicity to, they'll get it, they'll get more money after their album sales or whatever, their streaming goes up. Families of Super Bowl players have to buy their own tickets. I did not know that, but I guess that makes sense. Each player's family can buy up to 15.
Okay.
All right.
And then a video started circulating after Sunday night. So I didn't watch this video, but I wanted to mention back in 2023, Howard Stern asked Eagles super fan Bradley Cooper if he'd rather win an Oscar or have the Phillies win the Super Bowl. And guess what he chose?
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, Taylor Swift was spotted boarding her private plane at New Orleans airport. It's assumed she was spotted. Her lackeys had hidden her behind umbrellas, and one of those lackeys was carrying cat litter.
Because she loves cats.
So that's why, it was for sure her because the people, okay.
That they're saying it's her because of, yeah.
I get it now.
Okay.
That's what we have on that, right?
That's all we got.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Well, staying in the sports vein, I just wanted to pass this along because there was a lot of talk when Russell Wilson was the quarterback of the Seahawks that he would make a lot of visits around the community, particularly, specifically to Seattle Children's Hospital. And I just wanted to share this story that the Seattle Kraken players are getting out and doing the same thing. I believe that last time they went to Sanislo Elementary, this might have been on Friday, doing a school visit. They had players Mitchell Stevens and Cale Fleury were there, and also Bowie, their famous troll mascot. Bowie was there as well. So the kids get to ask players and Bowie some questions, although Bowie doesn't talk, but he does do a good job of pantomiming things out. And now the Kraken fan base is growing by one elementary school. So nice to know that the players are out there doing that, giving back to the community too.
Out doing some good in the community. I love it. Curt, I popped this in for you because you love Green Day so much.
I was surprised to hear this, that I wonder how much involvement Green Day will have. Green Day, the band, getting into the movie business. They're producing a coming-of-age comedy inspired by their own early days of touring around in a van. And anybody who, you've heard all the stories of bands coming up. It's like, hey, we bought this cheap van. It broke down every 10 miles, and we traveled all over the place for no dollars, and that's how they got their start, right? So this Green Day produced movie is going to be called New Year's Rev. It'll have starring Mason Thames. Is that a name from the Black Phone? And also from The Office, remember Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey will be in it as well. And the movie will follow three best friends who pile into a van and head to LA because they mistakenly think they're opening for Green Day at a New Year's Eve concert.
Are you excited about this or not
I
excited
think
about it?
It sounds funny. Yeah, it sounds fun and funny.
I had to ask him, like, who's Billy Joe Armstrong? You're like, it's the lead singer of Green Day, Jen.
You'd recognize him if you saw him. So no word on when this is going to be released yet, but look for, again, it's called New Year's Rev, produced by Green Day.
Pretty cool.
Microchips?
Yeah, so apparently if your pet is microchipped, it might not be working right now. And cat and dog owners are, of course, freaking out over this fact that might not work. A Texas-based microchip company called Save This Life went under and apparently didn't tell anyone. And so now, because it went out of business, the chip doesn't work. So the American Animal Hospital Association keeps a central database of all the chip numbers, but pets registered through Save This Life aren't in it anymore. So
that's actually important to do. We had a situation not long ago where we were trying to have somebody help find their lost animal, and they did find it. But when they scanned the microchip, the people that found it did, took it in and had the microchip scanned, and it's like, okay, there's nothing on here. Actually, what I think they did was they were supposed to call a number. There's also a number you can call, a phone number that says call this number, and then you input the chip number or whatever. And
that's right.
It turns out that those people had not somehow finished the process of, I guess when your dog gets microchipped, your animal gets microchipped, they say, okay, now you need to go in and fill out the rest of this stuff. And so make sure that you've done that. Otherwise, having the microchip in there is pretty much worthless.
Right. So anyway,
that's different from this story, though.
Yeah, the people that got the microchip from Save This Life, the good news is that the microchip is fine. You just have to re-register it through another company. And a few companies are doing it for free, and others are charging around $20. So there you go. But you have a good point, Curt. I actually have to go back and see if I registered Sailor, because I remember that there being some paperwork about that, but I'm not remembering filling it out.
Right. Just a little tidbit here from Curt and Jen in the morning. So make sure that your microchips are filled out completely.
Okay, so this is why I said the cost of your thoughts are going up, the inflation, because a penny for your thoughts. Good one, right?
Yes, and your thoughts, well, they might only be worth a penny still, but you're going to have to give some change when somebody says a penny for your thoughts, because pennies going away.
It's official. The government is going to stop making them. Trump said that he has directed the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies because they cost more than a penny to produce, which it makes business sense. To me, it makes business sense, right?
Why would you keep producing something? The U.S. Mint says each penny actually costs 3.7 cents to make. Let's round that up to 4 cents. And of course, it's valued at 1 cent.
Right.
So that's what they're saying, and this is probably, what people are going to be like, oh, I've had pennies my whole life. Of course you have. We all have. Since what year did pennies start? Like 18, anyway.
Like 1792 or something like that.
It's been a long time. But you know what? I mean, with inflation and stuff, when was the last time maybe if you had to make exact change for something, you might have taken a couple pennies out. And yes, I do have some pennies in the ashtray in my vehicle, which it's not used for ashes, that's for sure.
I know. Do you save them now, though? Do you literally save your pennies and not get rid of them because maybe they'll be worth even more because they're going extinct?
The bajillions of them that are out there. Oh, that was another thing that is part of the story as well that I didn't even think about when they're saying why get rid of the pennies. Apparently, They don't stay in circulation very long because a lot of people do, they get some pennies as change and they just throw them into a junk drawer or something like that, and so they don't stay in circulation very long.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, there's some problems with getting rid of the pennies. Experts say this would cause us to need more nickels, which we're also losing money on. What?
What? So
What? The
each nickel
nickels?
costs about 13.8 cents to make.
We
Why are we?
Why are we doing this?
Analysts say that this, because we'll need more nickels, will cause prices to rise for consumers. If the penny is phased out, prices will just be rounded up or down. I wonder which,
Yeah.
to a 5 cent amount. And it turns out that Canada stopped minting its 1 cent coin in 2012. And in 2018, an economic analysis found that Canadians paid about $3.27 million more at grocery stores due to prices being rounded higher after the change. It's probably not going to affect your grocery bill individually that much, but of course it's going
I
to be
don't know what to
rounded
say.
up.
I don't know what to say about all this.
Hmm.
We're
Well,
just
you know what? I guess it also brings up the point that I often find myself where I don't have any actual money on me. Like if you want to tip a driver or you go to a
yeah,
hotel, they
yeah,
come out and they take your luggage. It's like I don't have any money to tip.
yeah.
And then I've had one of them said, "Well, I do have Venmo. If you want my Venmo number," it's like I apologize. That's too much work.
Oh my gosh, Curt.
So you
All
go,
right.
wait, no, you just go
Enough
in.
about the pennies.
All right. Enough about the pennies.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
This
Our
was
question of the day from yesterday.
this is a good one. I
We,
was pleasantly surprised with the answers.
we were not knowing what to expect as often with the question of the day. Is this gonna resonate with people or not? The question was a simple one. What's the most random thing you've memorized? And I came up with the 50 states song, which taught me how to alphabetically say Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, all the way through. Um, that was my random thing that I've memorized. But a lot of other people had a lot of other things, and we're going to share some of them with you now.
Yes, Amanda said my childhood phone number. No longer
Hmm.
used by anyone in the family, but she still has it memorized.
I still have ours memorized. It was no, I don't.
Jenny said every single code for all the produce at the grocery store. She cashiered for 20 years. When I left, she's saying this, when I left, they made them all scannable. So go figure.
So that was useless after that. Shelley said, I still know how to spell Saskatchewan. And Janelle says, this might sound silly, but never eat soggy waffles to remember directions, north, east, south, west. Never eat soggy waffles.
See, mine was never eat shredded wheat.
Yeah. Both are kind of lousy, soggy waffles and shredded wheat.
Oh, I love
Chris was able and still remembers the Greek alphabet in eighth grade before college. I learned the entire Greek alphabet and also says spelling of the longest word in the English dictionary, which he doesn't say what that word is.
Huh.
So I have to take them on at their word.
Anthony says poison control phone numbers. Anthony is a new dad, so he needs
That's
to
a good
know
thing to
that.
remember then.
Shannon says she knows how to recite the alphabet backwards and can do it in less than 5 seconds.
Hmm. Sonia, this is got how to do my multiply 9 on my fingers. I can't do it any other way. 1 times 9, first finger down, 9 fingers left. The answer is 9. Okay. I was never taught that one. It sounds, this is one of the ones where the method of remembering sounds more confusing than just actually remembering
Yeah,
what the
this is
numbers are.
confusing to me. Wait, I think Riley's, my oldest daughter's done this too.
And I imagine once you get it, it makes things go very, very quickly.
First finger down now becomes 10 second. I mean, okay. She knows
That's a
how to
lot.
multiply by 9 using her fingers. All right.
Andrea said the first 18 lines of the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. All right.
Oh, okay.
How about Chris? When I was in high school with you, Jen.
Yes, I was like, who said this? Because Curt and I kind of switch off who's doing what. And I was like, oh, Chris Kelly from high school. No way.
He remembered is a he, Chris, right? He
Yes.
remembered Sochchatoa,
And
which
I had no idea. I'm like, Curt, I have
it
no
says
idea what
we
that
looked
is.
it up.
Yeah.
It's a helpful mnemonic for remembering the definitions of trigonometric functions. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Nope.
No.
Nope. Nothing.
That's why we went into radio.
Look what Eric remembered. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
You didn't really sing it too well, Curt. Two all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Ta!
Um,
John, all the words to It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM. That's a tough one. That's a lot of words.
is it?
Yeah.
I love Kate's the lyrics to any 80s song. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Selena said the states of being verbs. Am is are was were is being been have has had do does did. Oh, and did.
Can, could, will, would, shall, should, might, may, might, must. All right. These are again, these are things that random things that you've memorized, and now we're down to Halsey saying the Education Connection commercial song. Do you know that one?
I don't know that one.
You know
Nicole
what I could
said,
add in here is a lot of the Schoolhouse Rock things. Conjunction, junction. What's that function?
um, do
No,
you, do you yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know that that's not what
I
she's
don't think that is. I don't know the Education Connection commercial song.
Nicole. No, I was looking at this. This is sung lyrically. French fries, icy Coke, thick shake, sundae, and apple pie. Big Mac filet of fish, quarter pounder, French fries, icy Coke, thick shake, sundaes, and apple pie. Okay, that's what she knows.
Do you remember that? Was that in a commercial or
I do
something for them?
remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
Randy says, I remember pretty much all of the words to A Christmas Story. I watched it so many times. And then he puts as an example, only I didn't say fudge. I said the word, the big one, the queen mother of dirty words, the F dash 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 word. And I would say,
What?
well, the quote from the movie is, shut up, Ralphie. Shut up, Randy. No. Debbie says, spinal nerves chart is what she memorized. And Marilyn said, not setting all my, what?
Clock being retired. Not setting all my clock being retired. Oh, I don't know what that is. Okay. Leslie said the entire song lyrics of American Pie. And Cheryl said, Jesus Christ made Seattle under protest to remember the streets in downtown Seattle going from Pioneer Square to Westlake.
I was going to ask about that because I remember I think we were going somewhere and you're like, oh
Yes.
yeah, I was like, well, we got to turn on Seneca. And then you were like, Jefferson, James, Cherry, Columbia, Marion, Madison, Springs, Seneca.
Yeah.
But what's the phrase? Jesus Christ made Seattle under protest.
Yeah. So it's
GCMSUP.
J is Jefferson. Well, J's twice though. Jefferson and James, and then Christ, Cherry, and Columbia.
They're all twice.
They're all twice. Yeah.
Marion, Madison, Spring, Seneca, University Union, Pike and Pine.
You have to remember the order of the two corresponding letters though too.
Right. Unless you're going the opposite direction, then you're like, oh, I can't get there.
Yeah. And then finally, Corey said, my best friend's phone number from way back hasn't been her number for 40 years, but she still knows it.
319-436-3491, I think was one of mine. 319-436. That's it. 319-436-3491. That would have been childhood home from like, I don't know, 8 to 12.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why that's still there. And I can't remember important things. All right. Things that you still remember. Appreciate you helping out with that.
All right. We're going to go into some Valentine's Day stories since it's happening on Friday.
Okay.
The heart-shaped items we're Googling for Valentine's Day. Heart-shaped boxes of chocolates have been the thing for over 150 years. Richard Cadbury sold the first one for Valentine's Day in 1868, but it's now 2025, and so there's heart-shaped everything,
Are you looking for?
including Swedish fish, by the way.
So yeah, some of the heart-shaped items, we're talking to food-related products. They've got, of course, heart-shaped candy. There's also heart-shaped bagels. Waffles. You can get heart-shaped waffles, burger buns, and I guess they have heart-shaped burger buns in New Mexico. Florida has heart-shaped marshmallows. And Iowa wants to have their heart-shaped taco platters.
And then in arts and crafts and party-related things, there's heart-shaped boxes and containers. There's heart-shaped balloons, of course, doilies, drinking glasses. And then there's also furniture, like heart-shaped furniture, heart-shaped candles. I mean, there's so many heart-shaped things. There's heart-shaped high heels in Louisiana and heart-shaped purses in Illinois.
Do you need to get those then?
I might.
When you saw that, we were like, oh, I got to have those for sure.
I was like, my little heart lit up for sure. Yes, thank you.
And let me just throw this in at the end of this, that maybe this, I don't know if this is better or worse than a heart-shaped pizza. Domino's has launched a pepperoni-inspired perfume. pepperoni-inspired perfume to entice pizza lovers on Valentine's Day. They're saying the limited edition Eau de Toilette is a nod to its pepperoni passion pizza. It's said to have irresistible notes of spice, pepper, and a woody, warm base. Does that sound like something you'd like to smell
No.
on the neck of your special person or whatever? Well, you don't have to worry about it because I think it's just going on in the United Kingdom, in the UK. So
Oh my
it
gosh.
sounds disgusting to me, though.
It's
Would you
disgusting.
try it if you could?
Well, I mean, I'd like to just like smell it from the bottle, but I would not like to smell it on Pat, myself, or anybody I know for that matter. Don't even
Okay.
try it, Kurt. I don't want to smell it.
And this is still along the same lines with the Valentine's Day stuff.
Well, yeah, because it's happening on Friday. There's, are you planning to celebrate Valentine's Day on Friday, Kurt? Like, are you and Dana doing anything?
Not as far as I know. I'm sure we'll come up with something, but I think I mentioned yesterday we treat it, I mean, yeah, I'm sure we'll go get a bite to eat or something, but yeah.
Okay. Well, about almost 40% of Americans say they plan to celebrate Valentine's Day this year. 45% do not plan to celebrate, and 16% still aren't sure what they're going to do. Men are
How-
more likely to say they are celebrating, which is surprising to me.
You
And
think
younger,
it'd be,
oh,
yeah.
go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, you think it'd be the ladies, but also younger adults more likely to say they aren't sure if they'll have a Valentine this weekend, probably because for a lot of people, it's like, do I really want to put a lot of money into this? Money is tight and times are tough, and I don't know. But the survey that asked people what they plan to do on Valentine's Day, the most popular response was doing something special at home. I didn't know that was an option. That's great.
That's what I'm doing. I mean, Pat and I talked about it. I think I mentioned this before. Like, we talked about going out, but it's like, first of all, it's going to be near impossible to get in anywhere decent.
That's true. Yeah.
Number two, prices are spiked up for everything, right? So let's just do something at home. And it is a long weekend too because it's President's Day on
Oh yeah.
Monday. So it's
Right.
not only is Valentine's Day on a Friday, you could make a whole long weekend, romantic weekend of it. Ooh la la.
Mhm. Unless you scare your person off. Just saying.
Good segue.
Could your super thoughtful Valentine's Day gift backfire on you? Be careful, it's your first Valentine's Day together. I actually was dating someone many, many years ago, and we had just started dating probably, I don't know, 3 weeks prior. And I did not make any special plans on Valentine's Day, and I got in a lot of trouble for that. And my take was then, and even now, it's like, I just met you, but
Okay,
I
this
could
is
see.
an interesting story to me, and I am going to dedicate this to my roommate Jackie and
Okay.
tell her in advance, like right as we're doing the story, I am sorry, I was wrong because she started dating Aaron,
Hmm.
like I don't know, it must be about 3 months ago now, and she
Okay.
was worried about many of these things. And I'm like, oh, come on, don't be worried. But turns out, yes, it's legit, like because relationships end on some of these things.
Yeah.
Kurt, go ahead.
This is some of the things that you can scare someone off, especially if you're too early and coming on too strong early in a relationship. And it's too bad because some of these things are nice. Don't talk about baby names.
I mean, she didn't do that. She's not having any more babies, but okay.
How about don't talk about moving in together before you've even seen their place? Blurting out "I love you" too soon is a big one.
That was a thing. That was a
Yeah.
thing. She was feeling the feels, but she's like, I'm not going to say it's too early. Too early.
Calling a person your soulmates early on in the relationship, asking to meet the parents apparently is and these are not things that necessarily 100% are going to ruin a relationship. Some people might say, great, they want to meet my parents. However, I guess it depends on the person, right?
Well, and also telling other people that you're a couple before that you've actually talked about it. Because at what point, like when you're introducing, this was a thing for Jackie, Aaron had to introduce her to some coworkers, and she was like, he going to call me his girlfriend? Is he going to call me a
Right.
friend?
And there are also people that when you get to a certain age, you're like, I don't want to say girlfriend or boyfriend. I mean, whatever. I'm 55 years old. This is not a
What do you say
boyfriend.
then? My partner?
Exactly. I know my point is, well, I mean, granted it says boy and girl in the actual word, but I don't think there's a better. My partner sounds weird. Other things that might scare people away, getting upset if they don't respond to your text right away, asking to leave a toothbrush at their place, but you just started,
That's
and
okay.
referring to their pets as our pet when talking to other people.
And posting too many photos of the two of you on social media.
These are all things, I guess, to give a second thought to. Although I would argue that if it's the right thing, then they would be okay with that. But I suppose
That's what I was thinking, Kurt. That's what I was saying. Like if it's a right like the right person, they're not going to get upset. But this was another thing, sharing someone with too many gifts, making the photo of them on your home screen, planning a vacation together, and changing your relationship status on social media too soon.
Right. And unfortunately, though, it's not. This is not really playing games. This is more like protecting yourself, because you think back to, well, there's another time that I told the person, "Hey, you're my soulmate," after the fourth date, and then they split.
That's
So
what happened with Jackie. That's what she kept going back to. Like, listen, my past tells me that this stuff is real. And I'm like, come on. I said exactly what you said. If it's the right person and they care about you, they're not going to split because of that. But it's a thing. I'm sorry, Jackie. That sucks.
It's a thing. It is a thing.
That's what you have to worry about it.
Let me hear about Jelly Roll. We got to pick things up a little bit here.
Oh, yeah, Jelly Roll. Okay, Jelly Roll has lost over 120 pounds.
Yay, Jelly.
And he gave some exercise advice to people, and I think that you could benefit from hearing it. He posted on Instagram after hiking to the top of a mountain. He said, "I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm sore, but this is a beautiful view." So basically, it was all worth it. Like, he's showing like all my hard work, even though I felt like crap doing it, paid off. And he says, "I realized today that some days when I get out here, it's a process of trying to make this massive life change. Some days he gets out here and he says, I feel great some days. Some days it's easy and I'm killing it. But there's other days when it's hard. Like, it is hard. You're not feeling it. But those are the days that it's most gratifying, when you get out there and actually do the work. If you're making this big life change, it's going to hurt. So if it sucks and it hurts and you hate it, keep going." He says this is especially the hardest at the beginning of your journey, when you don't feel like you're making any progress at all. But he's promoting that he's training for a 5K on May 4th. And so that was the whole thing. But his post was like sincere and from the heart. And it's great advice.
It is, Sue. I've often wondered if I'm not as much of a goal-oriented person, because I find myself with a lot of things. It's like, well, I know I should do this, but, and here comes the buts, right? This, that, and the other thing. And then, so I need to be a little bit better about, like what he said. I like that, the goal, maybe the goal is, yeah, I'm going to hike up this mountain and it's going to be hard, but when I get there, man, it's really worth it, So maybe that's a key for, giving yourself short-term goals for each little workout and something to strive for.
Well, right.
I don't know.
And it sucks when you're doing the work and not seeing any results.
Yeah.
But you're still making yourself stronger and your heart stronger and all the things. So
sometimes it takes a little while. Exactly.
All right.
What?
Question of the day for today.
I like it. And you asked me if this applied to me, and I said yes.
I'm like, then we have to ask it. I mean, if you can answer the question that quickly, people will have something. And I could answer it pretty quickly too.
Here's the question.
Name a clothing item that you own, which always starts a conversation. What is it for you? Let's just hear it. I know it's a little spoiler alert.
I have a shirt, just a t-shirt that is just the big picture. Like the whole front of it is basically the picture of a German Shepherd, face and a little bit of their body, like a giant German Shepherd head. And it freaks people out. Okay,
will you wear it tomorrow? Will you bring it tomorrow? I know you won't wear it because you got to wear Kraken gear.
I'll have to see if I can dig it up, because I was told by my wife to get rid of it. I still have it somewhere though.
Okay, try to find it and bring it. I want to see it.
What is your thing that clothing item that you own that always starts a conversation?
I will do my best to bring it tomorrow. I'm going to show it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what we want from you, and we appreciate you contributing as always. Also, liking and following and subscribing, all those things help the show move forward, and we certainly appreciate it if you would do that.
It seems like you might shake that off as like, oh, that's not a big deal, I don't have to do that. But if you seriously could, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, any and all of it would be so awesome. We'd appreciate it so much.
Yeah, hit any button. We don't care, right? Any button.
Have a great Tuesday. We appreciate being part of your daily routine. Make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and laugh. Have a good one.